to finish in Siman Samachay, which is Hilchos Ribis, but there's one. It's only really the whole thing. There's 2 lines left, 2 sifim, but there's what to talk about this a little bit, and especially one. There's a whole arichas in Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, a very interesting side. That's why I prepared some of the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch here. That we'll learn that later. First, let's finish over here. The next one, after this, Samach Vav talks about the dinim of Iska. The dinim of Iska means the dinim of a heter Iska, what we mentioned many times, but that'll mention for next week. So let's see over here. At the end of Siman Samachay, we're up to Sif Chavtes, which says as follows: Shutim shetzrichun lilvos mois beribis me'eni Yehudi. If there's partners in a business that they're in a need for money, so they're ready to pay interest, so they're not going to go to a yid to take it, but they go to a goy. So chayre, it sounds like a simple thing. So what's the problem? Just like if a yid needs money and he goes to a goy, he's allowed to pay the goy ribis. But still, the Shulchan Aruch says over here, Yasa Shelas Chacham Echasas. There's a big shaila. So what the shaila we'll see later. I want to go into Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch.
That's because they're shutfim.
Because they're shutfim. Okay. So we'll get to that later. Let's finish the next sif. The next sif is Mumar, also Lilvos Mimeno Beribis. Now, what does it mean, a mumar? A mumar can mean a different type of mumar. There's a mumar ha'eichel nevelas l'teyavin, or there's a mumar ha'eichel l'hachas. What does that mean? That means there's funny yidden that they're yidden, but the marshal. Is geschmack non-kosher meat. It's cheaper. You can't. It does say some mumma with the oven. Some geschmack. Then there's a mumma with hachas. Just I'm angry at the Eibishter, and I'm going to do whatever I want. And no one's going to tell me. That type of this type of, what they call the self-hating Jews. Then so. These mumrim are yidden. So about the mumrim, that doesn't mean to say that you're allowed to pay them ribbis, and you're not allowed to lend them with ribbis. Now comes another type of a mumma. Another type of mumma means a yid that hatzach nebach geschmat. He's a goy, a goy. So the shaila is 2 shailas. Number one, is he considered a yid, even though it's a geshmat? But we say he gets shmat for hypers morgan. He can't become a yid. So if you want to lend him, you can't say as a guy, let him pay ribbis. That's a shaila. If you got to take from him ribbis. On the other hand, if he only wants the ribbis to give the loan, there's a shaila if you got to give him because at the chayid. So that's what he says over here. Mumar also lilvos mimeno beribis, because he goes with the klal that it's a yid. So you're not allowed to pay him ribbis. Gam lahalvos loy beribis is also yesh rahachman. Lahalvos loy beribis maybe is a little bit different because you could say, why should he have the benefit? Etzach geshmat. Why should he have the benefit of the Jews also? So you may think that. It's a mitzvah, there's a lot of mitzvahs that people make. It's a mitzvah to give him with the ribbis, Let him suffer it. Let him know that it costs him. So he says yesh lahachman, because it's a shayla. So yesh lahachman. So another place to state that you should try to avoid it. They told there was once a story that in a town. There lived, a galach and a rabbi, and the galach was out to convert the Jews, and the rabbi fought him vehemently. Didn't want to let him, a missionary. So once they met, And the Gala says to the rabbi, I don't force anybody. I talk to your people, you know. And if they realize that, so why are you fighting me? Why did you let me do my thing? He said, look, I'll tell you. He says, our father Abram was blessed. He was blessed to have a hoya zaracha kafara oretz. He said, now, what do you do when you convert them? You sprinkle water on them. So the water, so what happens if you take water and you sprinkle it on the fara oretz, you make mud. I don't want to let you make mud from my people. Okay. But now let's go back to this thing over here about the shutaf. So you have over here on the table, there's a few Shulchan Aruchs, Hilchos Ribis. It's in the last chelak of Shulchan Aruch. Look before Hilchos Nida. Before Hilchos Nida. And look at Simon. Is it Samachay?
It's Simon.
Samachay. There's no Simon. It's all Hilchos Ribis is one. So let's learn an interesting dinam of him.
From Aleph?
Samachay.
Yeah, but you're starting from Sif Aleph?
No. There's no Sim. In Hilchos Ribis, Sif Samachay.
Sif Samachay.
Yeah, towards the end.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, Samachay. Yeah.
One second. Oh, I'm sorry. Go to Samar Daled. In the middle of Samar Daled,
1566.
it says over there, Philip Beis Shutfim. You see about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 lines from the bottom, from the end of Samar Daled. It starts with the word Philip Beis Shutfim.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it? You got it, yeah? Okay. It says it's like, Philip Beis Shutfim, before he was talking about what we learned yesterday, about the dinam where someone lent money from a guy, and there was an order. So the question, what role the order plays? That's what he talks about. But here it says, Philip Beis Shutfim, Shalova echad me'mois minochi v'tzarech ha'shutfus. There were two partners in the business, and one of the partners, they needed money. So one of the partners found a guy to lend them money with ribis. V'noisen haribis min hashutfus. And he pays, you have to pay the guy every month. He pays him a check from the business, so to say. So also, that's also. Afilu shneim chasumim b'shtachayv. And even if they're both signed on the shtachayv, on the note that they gave to the guy for the loan, im hagay yoch litvaya kol amois mizeh shalav mimanu midin avos. So, if
no, he's saying it's also if he can go to that one guy without the other guy. That's
right, right. Then he says, Elam Kain, his asik v'yeviach b'mors elu, yochel lito haribis min harevach tchil lito l'goy, v'achakach yichalko harevach hanisha.
He should pay the bills first, then split the money.
Right, yeah, why he says? He says, ki haribis nachsheves ha'hefsid min harevach l'shneim. That, in other words, the business had a loss.
Right, because they had to
So
pay
consider that to take the money from the business, to pay it, and after that, you can divide whatever profit there is. When they're both actually involved in the business. Avo im echad in other words, if I have a business and I took money from somebody and I made a heter iska with him, so according to heter iska, we are partners. So he's saying that's what he's talking now. He says, for half of the profit. V'nosan roi, einer ashoy lachshev roi haribis, v'hefsid min harevach. That means like this here. You say, if Reuben needed money, so he went to a guy, and he had a heteriska with Shimon, that Shimon invested money with him, so Shimon's a partner in the business. Now, the business is really Reuben's business. It's not really Shimon's business, he's just a partner. So when it comes to what we're talking now, there's two types of heteriska. There's a heteriska where they're actual partners, and the profit is split between the two of them. And there's a type of heteriska where instead of splitting the profit, you pay him a percentage. So he's saying now, let's say you're splitting the profits. How do you split the profits? You make a cheshbon of all your expenses, right. You deduct that, and then whatever's left is the so he's saying, if he deducts all the expenses from the whole business on Yenem's cheshbon, kumtois, that Yena is paying ribos also. The guy who's not working is paying ribos also. So that's what he's saying over here, that Avram echad nosan mois lachaveda lesasik behem lemachsescha v'loive hanoisim mois migoy beribis v'noslan loy einer ashoy lachshiv as a ribis lehefsed min harevach. He can't count that as a hefsed because then he's charging the other guy the ribis. Now he says an interesting thing.
Because he wasn't a full-time partner.
Right. V'chein min hogei hakol. People are the officers of the kol. She roven min hagoy beribis. L'tzarech hakol. The kol needed money, so they lent from a guy. Afa pisha yadeya hagoy. Even though that the guy knows shehu l'tzarech hakol, that it's for something that they need for the community. He only has business with the directors, that's the ones that are dealing with him. Harei haim love him, so they become borrowers, shalai, his borrowers, umalvin l'kol beribis, and the money that they get, they're lending to the kol. If they're lending to the kol and the kol pays back the ribis, kumtais that the kol is paying them and they're paying the. He says, "V'afim hagoy yochlu tvayim gamay hakol kishalei yifru hamanhigim mikolmak and kivin sheyochlu tvayim mihamanhigim tchila b'dineim." He could take them to court because they're the ones that took the loan. Midin alvis yesh lehem gam ken din leiv migoy. So they're taking the loan, and this is similar to what we discussed a number of times with the mortgages, with everything.
Right.
With there's the person that's taking.
They don't know anybody. They know you, and you're charging them.
Ve'ein heta bora bedova. There's nothing clear about it. He says ki af sheyesh shalom d'aleim schus. Even though there's some that want to find a heta leimet to say. Shamanhigim yeshlem dim up trupes shel yisaimim. Sherashoy luvas beribas migoy b'shvilim. That for the yisaimim that are appointed the supervisors to take care, they can borrow money for the yisaimim. V'lifra haribas minachsayim. So he says, the Rebbe says, Hare'af rayosam tzricha raya. It's a shvacha proof. Ki mi Yagid Ronu Shapetrupas Ashoy Lasas Kenlu Yisaimim. Who says?
Even that.
Yeah, who said that? Yeah. Shema Yesh Kan Ribis Shal Taira. There could be, if it's a Ribis Midrabanon, so then you gotta do it. But if it's if they made up with the guy, I mean, they borrowed money with from another yid, and they made up the Ribis before. Like I'm taking 100, we're gonna pay 110. So now he says, "Vayte v'yeshem misham say sheyesh takonu l'man helge akal oy ve'echad min hashutrim." There's a takonu for the board of directors, so to say, or for when one shutv takes ha'hoylech lubis min hagoy beribis, he's giving the following yaitza: sheyifru haribis lehagoy miyad mimor sakol oy hashutvis. In other words, you lent us $100. We're supposed to pay back 110. Here's the $10. We're giving you the money up front. What's the ma'aser? Shenimtzu hamanhigim oy hashutvim kishemeviim mimor sakol. When they bring the money to the call, oy v'shar hashutrim, or the shutv brings it to the partners. Hey, malbung ahem b'lei ribis. They're not charging them for ribis.
But they paid already.
It was paid already. V'ribis sheyoko hamanhigim oy hashutrim mimor sakol. But where did they get the money to pay? So it said, oy hashutrim v'nosagay ein b'zeh isakal. Was that wasn't
that was operational costs.
Ki nasnu b'shlichas hakol, because they gave it with the shlichas of the kol. Oishar hashotim ushlucha shuadam kemoisei ukeilu nasnu hakol oyashotim ba'atzim ridei agoy. In other words, he's going with the idea that the guy, they know the directors. He doesn't know the call. So as far as the relationship between the Lev and the Malva is that he's giving it to them. If they took money before and they paid off the guy already, so everyone is not paying ribis anymore. And everyone is giving everyone is sharing in that money.
In the expenses.
And when they got the money, so it's already free and clear.
At most, they're getting a loan for without any ribis from the.
Right.
They paid the ribis up front.
No, I'm saying the
Kohol paid the ribis.
I understand that, but the people.
They paid it to the guy.
I understand that. The problem till now was that it seems that everyone in the call now is paying the ribis to goy. Yeah, even if you want to say that, the most they're doing is they're getting a free loan from the call now. Okay, I understand. Before it was ribis, now it's called operational expenses.
No, it's ribis. But they're paying the ribis to the guy directly.
But it's coming off the top.
The doesn't matter because you give it to a guy.
It's the way he's saying. It's the way he's saying. The problem is, the problem that Rebbe has is that it looks over here like there's the guy, there's the directors, and they're giving the call. So the mail comes that they gave the money to the director. The director gave money to the call, and the call is paying back with the ribis.
Right.
And who are they paying back? To the directors.
Right.
So if Moshe they gave the money in advance, so everybody gave the guy. At the beginning, everyone gave him his money
there's
already.
No middleman.
Yeah, there's no middleman.
Ah, that's the point.
And B'meila, so now they're not paying. They're paying back. They're paying back the chayv.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Most of them having now is they get.
So he says over here. He said that sounds very good, but they said there's one other problem. The problem is v'af shaloi amil hagoy shehem shluchei hakol. Even though they didn't tell the guy that they're not taking for themselves, they're taking for the call. Because the other way they're taking for the call. Oy shara shutim, or they don't tell the guy about the other partners. אין בכך כלום, היו ומויס הריבס שנייסן להן מקופס הכל, אוי השוטן, so it's not, it's like shchur shchur kamoisai. They don't have to tell the guy who's paying and what's paying. V'nochen rinne kain, lotzes midei sofik isra shotayda. So this is how he gives an eitzah how to do it. That to make the loan, so if they told the guy
that we're in the middle people.
if they told him originally, we're coming to you as representatives of the community. So that he doesn't say such an eitzah, because the guy may not want it. The guy wants to know who am I dealing with, who's responsible, right? So as far as the guy's concerned, he looks at it and said, well, we're responsible. Oh, you're responsible. Good. If you're responsible, then who's these people? The other people that are paying you ribbis. So that's what he says. Let them give you the money in advance. But so the loan that's being taken is being taken for the call. The being is taken for the call, so it's not a problem. The whole call went to borrowed the money.
It's not re'eyu.
What?
It's not re'eyu. It's the whole it's not like separate.
It's not two-step process. It's a one-step procce.
Yeah.
In the middle, before they were doing it, so it looked like it went to them and then went to the call.
You said like Moshe.
Well, the Moshe the Alter Rebbe doesn't talk about that at the Moshe function. That the Moshe function's hat that is that there's no life in a malva. By Ribbe steht in the Torah re'eyu. Okay, so it has to be re'eyu that you're lending, or your eyu that's lending the money, that's giving the money. But there's no re'eyu by a corporation. That's why there's even in bankruptcy by a corporation. When a corporation goes bankrupt, the person may have other monies also, but the corporation is bankrupt. There's no one to more money from.
Right, that's the way to explain it.
Right.
It's not a single person. It's a corporation.
Okay.